Hey guys, how's it going? I'm the Conflict Nerd and welcome back to Cities Skylines Campus. And that right there is an intro to this channel, those exact words that I have not said in years, and I'm probably not going to say again because I really dislike my old intro, but I just felt like it. I'll be honest, it's been a little while since the last episode of this series, so I figured, you know, new YouTuber who dis or whatever. I don't know what I'm saying, all right? There's been a bunch of changes to Nerdsey since we were last here. This area that you're looking at is part of our Waterfront now, and I kind of want to walk you through all the changes and some of my thought processes, and then just jump right in and get on with what I want to do today. So obviously, once upon a time, we built all of this. We built this park alongside all the train tracks, and these train tracks are like, these are something that people keep telling me they really hate. I kind of dig them. Like, I don't like this connection here, and that is something I will fix, and that is something I will change, because I do want these train tracks to sort of spread out into the county and do all that stuff. But I also really wanted to build all of this, and I did, basically. I built a waterfront, and I didn't record this, but I did live stream this over on twitch.tv/conflictnerd, where I stream quite regularly, and you should totally drop a follow if you haven't already. But yeah, this right here I built as just sort of a waterfront area. It is almost exclusively built up of offices. It is almost exclusively an IT cluster. And the reason for that's pretty simple. I just figured it would make sense to have a big IT cluster down on the water. I've recently been looking at some pictures of New York and some other cities, and I've noticed that all the high-rises, like, there's not a million of them. There's a lot, but they're always clustered. They're never just everywhere. Not every building is a super high-rise. So I figured my waterfront should have these super tall buildings, and then in this strip down here, this used to be an IT cluster. I decided to change it out and put on a high-rise ban so that it's not all gonna be high-rise anymore. And suddenly you have this differentiation between the left and the right here alongside the train track, and I like that a lot. I've actually gone ahead and done exactly that same thing over here in Laurel Square, which I think that all is. Yep. So Laurel Square is exactly the same. I decided to put a high-rise ban on there. I think this was once upon a time a self-sufficient housing area as well. So eventually this is going to build up. Eventually this is going to be quite small in terms of height. And I think it's just gonna look better because I'm gonna have clusters and pockets of high-rises rather than everything being a high-rise. That's not the only thing I've done between episodes. I went ahead and gutted this entire park. It isn't even a park anymore. There's nothing left to it. It's just a big empty space. And that's kind of where I want to start today, because I want to start putting some unique buildings in here. I do want to just make this area a little bit more dense as well. And honestly, I don't know. I had no real ideas for how to flesh this thing out properly. So a lot of it's going to be turned into just development and zoning. But I do have an idea for like this angle of it here. So let's just get into it. Let's just get started and start putting in some roads. And to begin, I need to do some measuring. So from this spot, I want to go back to about there. About 40 units seems fine. I want to go 20 units in either direction, and I want 135 degrees there, and I want 135 degrees there. So that is, wow, that. And we're going to keep this area. This area here is going to be kept relatively open, relatively detailed, relatively nice, and everything else around it is basically going to be turned into generic urban sprawl, which is completely fine by me. I do want to get some nice curves on here, though, just to make it a little bit nicer. And then we can hopefully maybe turn it into, I don't know, something with trees or whatever. But I think that looks all right. And it's going to be a pretty quick way to get from this side to that side without having to go like down, around, and back over. So that, again, that's a good thing. That's kind of what we want. Now, what I want to do with this area is, because we have this middle point, which is going to be right there, I want to put a building in here. I want to put in a unique building, and we could do something like City Hall. It will actually go central. We could do something like the department store, which will also go central. And the department store is kind of tempting, but I'm actually looking to get something like the cathedral, which I realize 2,000 abandoned buildings is never going to happen. But we also have the option for the Cathedral of Plentitude, which won't go central, so never mind. I hate the Cathedral of Plentitude, I'm gonna be honest. I'm not ashamed to say I'm kind of glad it didn't work out there. What else have we got? We've got the Observation Tower. Would it go central? That could actually look really cool in the middle of town, but I like using this thing as like an air traffic control tower. Although that does look kind of neat, towering over everything, doesn't it? I think I'm gonna save it. And we'll put that in some other time. What else have we got in here, though? We have the Oppression Office, which can't go central. We have the Sea Fortress, which kind of needs some water, so that's not gonna happen either. I think, honestly, we're gonna have to look at something like the department store or City Hall. I was wanting to put the cathedral in here, and I might go and get myself a little mod to unlock it, because I think it would look awesome. But we're not going to do that right now, so that's fine. Do we have anything in here I could place instead? We could do the space shuttle launch site right in the middle of town. That'd be great. What about this? This could go there. There's a lot of options, really. We've got the Majesty as well, which is pretty cool. But I think, honestly, let's just keep it simple. And I'm thinking it's gonna be City Hall. I think that's what we're gonna do. I think that'd be kind of fitting for the middle of town, and also directly opposite the campus, which I think looks awesome. That's kind of why I want this big space. I want I want there to be a clear line that goes between the campus and whatever I put in the middle here. So that's exactly what we're gonna do. And I also want to go ahead and I think I do want to make this into a park again, at least that little area that we have. So small park, main gate, unless we want to just expand Pleasant Hill, which I think we'll do. I think that might be easier to do rather than making two separate parks. So Pleasant Hill is going to expand around. It's going to be right in front of City Hall. And I might make that road in front of City Hall into a road that civilian traffic can't go on to. That might not be a bad idea. It will mean that a lot of traffic has to go down and around again, but that just might not be a terrible idea to sort of restrict it a little bit. So we'll put a couple of park entrances in the sides over there. We could maybe do something like this and that as well. I'm not really sure how well those are going to line up though, but we'll figure it out. And I kind of dig that. I think that'll be good. I do want more buildings though, and I'm wondering if it would maybe be an idea to be a bit cheeky, clone this with move it, and then actually move it so it's there. I'm wondering if I could put these together to, ooh, I think I could. If I move that one more over, that tower has two spires, and yeah, there's some Z fighting going on with those windows, but I don't mind that too much, I'm gonna be honest, unless, I mean, we move it back across and we just use move it to sort of push them together a little bit. This gap in here is gonna be kind of weird, but I don't mind that too much. Let's see if we can do this with move it real quick. So if I was just move you like a little bit, it's a tiny little bit in, so that those towers are touching like that. You know, I don't mind it too much. Again, a little bit of Z fighting going on, but I don't mind it. Yeah, we kind of got some weird space back here. Yeah, we got this weird gap, but I think that's kind of cool. I think that kind of works. I definitely don't mind it. Although, I've just had another idea. Hold on. This might work even better. If I was to bring this back, if I was to turn you around, that's kind of interesting. Okay, I think I'm onto something here. I think I've got an idea. Bring that back a little bit further, get rid of that road, and then move you to that road. Oh, but it puts fences in front of it. Oh, that would have been so much better without the fences. I guess I could technically take them out. I don't know if I have prop it up installed, but I could go enable prop it up to take out those fences. You know what? I think we're overcomplicating it a little bit. Let's just keep it really simple for the time being, and let's just not double up these right now. There might be a better building I can use anyway, like the department store, for example, could be, maybe not. Maybe not. It's noticeably not a government building. And let's be real, we probably don't want to tread back into the what is versus what isn't a government building debate. So, would this match? Does that work? It kind of does. It kind of doesn't. Okay, I have one more thing I want to try here. just one more thing I want to try. If I was to put you there, if I was to then duplicate you with move it, if I was to then select the building and put it there. So it's not quite central, and two of those beside each other doesn't look very good. So never mind, let's just do City Hall. Okay, so I think this works. I've gone for City Hall in the middle and then 2 oppression offices on either side. I used a little bit of move it just to move them across so that sort of the middle of like this peak here is in line with the middle of that window. Did the same on this side, and I think it looks okay. It's nothing super special, and yeah, I could go to the workshop and download a bunch of assets, but I think this kind of works. I kind of dig it. I also like that we have room here for some grassy areas, because I did decide to use the, what is it, the pedestrian road or whatever it's called, the 2-lane plain street. I used it to be able to place the oppression offices, and I figured it's kind of okay that there's cars in front right now. I am going to turn all of that off so that people can park here, but it does give me this nicely outlined area that I do kind of want to do something with. So let's go in, let's just paint. Let's see, it's gonna be, I said paint? Where did I get paint from? I've been watching a lot of Bob Ross lately. I'll be honest with you. That might be where that's coming from. And I've been thinking that I really want to do like a Bob, this is gonna sound so lame. I don't want to like rip off Bob Ross, right? I want to stress that, but I love the idea of taking like the Bob Ross approach to Cities Skylines. Like it's so lame, but I just I make a joke about it. I'm sure I've made jokes about it in videos before as well, of the whole like, you know, and we're gonna place another happy little tree down here, we're gonna build ourselves a mighty mountain. But I genuinely really like the idea of doing that in Cities Skylines. I think it would be really fun, and I've recently gotten into really just enjoying really chill like gaming experiences. I recently played Minecraft on stream for 3 hours and had like some really zen music in the background. I have this playlist on Spotify that I follow called Soothing Relaxation, and it is literally that. It is just so relaxing. It's just like, some of the songs are literally just tones. It's literally just like an acoustic ambient tone. Like if you've ever watched the slow-mo guys, the sound effect they play during like super slow motion sections, it's kind of like that, and it is the most zen thing to listen to. And this is a 30-minute track. It's not, I really recommend it. Look it up on Spotify. If I remember to, I'll put a link in the description for it as well. It's called Soothing Relaxation. Like, it's so chill. You can't help but talk slower and calmer and more gentle when you're listening to it, and you just kind of, I sound like I'm high as a kite here. I want to just mention I'm not. I've been looking for years for something that I can like listen to that just zones me out a little bit and that just chill. It's just something really chill, because people always link chill playlists and it's like really intricate like electronic music or something, and I'm like, how do you chill to this? How does this get you to chill? Like, I'm ready to hit the clubs, man. But anyway, I do recommend it, and I hope I remember to put the link in the video description, because it's really good. I really recommend it. But back to the topic at hand. Yeah, I've been thinking about doing like a Bob Ross style Cities Skylines video, because I think that would be really fun to do. I just need to find the way to do it, because I can't do an impression of Bob Ross. And I wouldn't necessarily want it to just be an impression of Bob Ross. I'd like to have it be sort of, you know, inspired by, rather than just like, you know, oh, hey, what if Bob Ross played Cities Skylines? Which, to be fair, will probably be the video title, because that's a really good title, but you know what I mean. That's kind of what I want to do. Anyway, I'm going to put all these fences in here, and then I want to start changing this area back here a little bit. I'm going to keep these curved roads in this side. And I know that this used to be like the center of our city, but I want to change it up a bit. I want to keep the curved roads on this side, but change this into a bit more of a generic grid, if I'm totally honest. So that is pretty much exactly what we're going to do. In fact, let me go ahead and just de-zone all of this right away, because pretty much all of that is going to be rebuilt. And I know we're losing money, by the way, but we have $19 million. We'll be all right. We'll last. I'm sure. I'm sure of it. We will manage to survive here. There ain't gonna be no problems. Let's just go ahead and get these fences in and then go from there. And I realize getting these fences in is gonna be a bit tricky. It is gonna be a bit tricky. We got some pretty tight curves to follow here. So we want to go to there. We want to. Oh boy, this is actually gonna be a nightmare, isn't it? Unless, hold on a minute, unless it lets me do this, which I don't think it's gonna. What if I did this? Is that gonna let me? Nope. Okay. If I was to go like one little bit there and then come out of here, is there a point at which it's gonna line up? I don't think there is. Does that line up? It does not. Does that line up? It actually does. Okay, 15 units is the way to go. All right, so we want to go 1. And then we want to go 15 from here. So 12, 13, 14, 15 there and done. And that works pretty well. Alrighty. As for this road, it's probably going to be slightly tricky too. We do want it to go to that corner. So maybe what we do is 10 units straight out. Move it to drag it into the corner. And then just force the curve kind of like that, I think. So something like that kind of works. We'll do the same over here. So 10 units straight out. We'll do you into the corner and then just force the curve like about that, I reckon. Yeah, I think that works. And then can I, by chance, get this to line up with that road? That's going to be the real question, isn't it? We'll turn off grid snapping. Angle snapping is probably fine. And that's probably fine. So 4 units. 4 over here as well. Something like that. And we can hopefully get this to line up. If I turn on road guidelines. Yeah, that doesn't look so bad. And I think that's a park. I think that's the park nicely surrounded. And people are actually using it already, which is fantastic news. And what's even better is I can actually put things in here. I can put plazas in here. I can do some good things. And actually, I think I want to do a good thing right here. So do that across there. Take those out. Let's do just a generic park plaza, I think, like right here. So you can sort of sit there and look up at the official buildings and all that stuff and just have a good time. I think that looks all right. It doesn't really spoil the view of anything either, which is really important. I mean, it's not in the grand scheme of Cities Skylines, but let's be real, it's me. So it's important. Let's bring this down to here. Is that about the same distance out? I want this to roughly be the same all the way around. That's pretty good. And then let's see, bring you... let me see. I want this to go in that direction because I think that'll put the lights on the same side. Yeah, lights on the outside, lights on the outside, lights on the outside. And I think, honestly, this can just run straight in there. This can run there for a second. We'll bulldoze you and run that straight down. And then down here, the lights are on the inside, inside, inside. There we go. So the lights are all in the right places. This is obviously a little weird looking. I'm not debating whether or not I should have just had the paths hug the whole thing a little bit better. That might not have been a bad idea to have the paths hug it rather than sort of sit a distance out from it. Yeah, I want to make this look better. I don't like it. There we go. It's a bit of a simple little change, but a couple of plants, a little bit of concrete, and the paths sort of hugging everything going on there. I think it looks a little bit better. So at this point, all these buildings are pretty much gone back here. Let's go ahead and figure out what exactly we can do with this area then, because we do have a few buildings that Well, I was going to say these buildings need to stay, but those ones don't. The metro station's going to be slightly tricky, but I can fix that relatively easily. And for some reason, we have brushed concrete over here. So let's just take all of that out. So that's all that gone. I don't think we have it anywhere else at the moment. We absolutely don't. That metro station's fine. Do we have bus lines in here? We do. Okay. What I think we'll do with the bus lines is move them out to these roads for the time being, and then move you out to that road for the time being. So the bus line can still function. And this metro line, again, we're going to have to slightly adjust in just a second. Let's bulldoze it, though. And let's take out all of these roads. A lot of these are going to function in sort of the same way. There's a lot of... obviously, this is all just still a grid. Everything can still just run across into each other here. But what I'm thinking is that back here, I want this to be an avenue that goes straight across, so that plenty of traffic can go back and forth there. This little road in here is going to need to be turned into sort of one of the smaller avenue style roads. This one as well. And then what we can do is go from here essentially straight down. We can go from here straight down, and we can go from here straight down. And then we could do the same. Let me see. What distance is this? 20 units. That's going to be to there. So that'll be 20 right there. Bring that straight down. And that's going to give us a nice bit of symmetry. That's going to give us a nice bit of room for buildings back there. And I think it's going to be good because I do want to leave this area unzoned. This area is probably going to sort of be a park as well. This entire block, essentially, this kind of like, you know, half of what we had before is still going to be a park, but I just want it to have a bit more function. I want it to be, you know, a proper city center, and I feel like it wasn't that before. So these areas in here, I think at this point we can do this and we can do this. We can do something similar up on this end and this end just to fill in that zoning. And I think we'll do the same here straight across, and we'll do the same here straight across. And honestly, that's going to be fine. Like I said, it's really generic urban zoning. It's going to be nothing special whatsoever. Now, what I do want to do is I want to put a new metro station in here because we do need to replace one. And I'm thinking it would be ideal there, but I'm probably going to move it over to here, which might make things a little bit tricky. There is a stop in there, so I'm going to move it there. And I'm going to move that stop to there. And basically what we need to do is curve you from here to there. And then take all of this out. Right back to there. We'll bring this forward just a little bit. And we can, let me see here. I want a nice curve on this. There we go. So that should just be functional again, I'm pretty sure. Although, are those stops still in there? Yeah, they are. So that one goes there. That one goes there. All of those people will need to move over to the new station, but that's fine. It's still functional. It still does exactly the same job, and it's still in a pretty good area, so I don't mind that too much. What I would like to do, since we have the demand for it, is I would like to go in. I would like to just put a bunch of commercial zoning across there. That is going to be a pretty busy road, but that should be fine. I think we'll do a bunch of commercial zoning down here as well. And I think we'll do a bunch of commercial zoning down here as well. And then this middle area, I'll be honest, I'm tempted to make it an IT cluster because I think this would be the perfect area right in the middle of the city to have one of those clusters of really tall buildings. So I think that's pretty much what we're going to do. Now let's have a look at districts here, because these are still very much districts and that is going to need to change a little bit. So take all of this out and basically straight across here, back over, around, straight down this road, and then around, straight across, and then everything in the middle is all going to be just the one district. And I think that'll work out really nicely for us. So straight up here, we'll just tidy up a little bit, because as we know, a neat district, happy district, etc., etc. I still don't have that in a t-shirt, by the way. I keep getting people telling me, put that in a t-shirt. I'm gonna. I just need to come up with a really good design for it first. And let me see. This is a district with an IT cluster. I think we're gonna need to change that too. So okay, so Pearl Square. All right. Tell you what we're gonna do. Pearl Square is going to expand out like this. It's going to come down. It's going to go to here. It's going to go back that way and all the way along to about there. So Pearl Square now takes up all of that space. I do want to keep it tidy though. So nothing here, nothing there, and nothing on the avenue either. The rest of it, I don't care too much about, if I'm totally honest. It also doesn't have an old town policy, so it doesn't matter too much. But what I do want it to have is a high-rise band. So high-rise band right there. And then Cherry District, I want to expand that a little bit. So back to about here, down, across, and that can all be tidied up as well. Cherry District is about to lose its IT cluster speciality, and is going to get a high-rise band as well. So Cherry Cluster, or Cherry District, or Cherry whatever it is. No more of that, and a high-rise band. And that is essentially going to force a lot of that to redevelop. And that's kind of going to suck just looking at this area, because I actually really like the high-rise buildings there. I'm suddenly tempted to keep them, but I think what I'll do instead is I'm going to designate like this area as its own district, I think. Just this little square here. And I'm gonna see if I can manage to do this in such a way that those buildings will still have IT cluster status. So something a bit like that, I think, will do the job. These buildings down here are going to be slightly weird, but I think I can make that work. That's going to be Barlow Park. IT cluster, let's see if they stay. It looks like they're gonna. So that's good. That works. We'll keep the high-rise buildings just there. Although that might look a bit... Oh, you know what? I'm tempted. I'm tempted to get rid of them. I'm tempted. We'll let it redevelop. We'll see what happens. We'll just let it redevelop. We do have water in there already, which is fantastic. So I like this. I think that's going to be a good bit of redevelopment, though. I think that's going to work out for us. And I'm excited to see it kind of work out for us. I want it to look good. Speaking of looking good, I guess oh my God, I'm losing $22,000. Okay. Maybe I should start worrying about the amount of money we're losing. I'm sure it'll be fine, but probably within an episode or two, we're going to want to look at that, and we're probably going to be like, hey, what's going on here? Anyway, let me take out this zoning here, and let me extend this park the entire way around here, because this whole thing at this point is just going to be one giant park, and is hopefully going to be a bit of a touristy area, because obviously the two oppression offices and the city hall are both relatively good for tourists. So hopefully people like them. But let's go ahead and let's throw in I want a park entrance there. I want a park entrance there. In fact, let's move those down just a little bit. So down to about there. We're going to do the same thing on this side. We're going to do the same thing on this side. And that's just going to let people sort of through the area. I think we'll do the same back here. We'll do the same back here. And that, again, should just be pretty good. So a path that way, a path that way. Then a path to there. And a path to there. And I don't think I'm going to connect those, because you can just use the sidewalk here if you really want to get from one to the other. So that should be fine. All we need to do at this point is, just the easy task, the ever so easy task of connecting up all of the fences, which is actually going to be pretty easy on some of these, which is nice. Always a nice change of pace when the fences are easy. These ones down here, maybe not going to be so easy. Maybe going to be slightly more tricky. But I'll go ahead and put the rest of those in just a little bit, because I want to just take a look at this. I want to make sure that what I'm doing is right, because I realize I don't think I gave this area the IT cluster specialization, did I? So there we go. Manor Park now has IT cluster specialization, and I think it's going to look good. I have a feeling it's going to look good, because you've got this old building here, right? And I want to just see some towering skyscrapers behind it. I think that'll look pretty cool. So hopefully it does, because if it doesn't, then, well, I'm not really sure what we'll do from there. We'll figure it out. Okay. I think this is kind of coming together nicely. I've decided to put in a bunch of plants down the middle here so that we have some color and so that we have some greenery and all that stuff. The area is obviously still needing a bit of work around here, but I also put some bushes around the back, another little plaza back here, and I'm just trying to gradually make this area feel like it's coming together a little bit more. Something I've also done is I've opened up these corners within this space to actually have some zoning. And the reason I've done that is pretty simple. I basically figure it's probably going to look better if we just have a little bit of the zoning coming in here. Not a whole lot of it, obviously, but just a little bit into those corners. It's just going to make it look better. It's also going to be less room that I need to go in and detail and put trees in and all that kind of stuff. Now, speaking of trees, I really don't know what to do for this area with trees. We do have the old pencil pines, and we actually, you know what? Speaking of which, before we even go there, where is that district that has the pine trees in it? Over here. We already named it. Okay. I remember so many people were like, yeah, you need to name that district Pencil Pines. I couldn't remember if I ever did it. So good to know that I actually did. That's a bit of a relief there. But what I think we could do is maybe just like 5 pine trees just sort of along the back here. And I think that looks okay. I think 5 pine trees back there is pretty good. I don't want to go too crazy with it though, because something I want to do is make sure that the entire area is at least somewhat visible. I mean, from back here, it's not too big of a deal because that's the back of the buildings. But that's why I'm not putting huge trees, you know, all the way through here, because I want you to be able to stand here. You know, you come up those stairs from the subway, you look out that way, and it's City Hall with this big ocean of green right here. That's kind of what I'm thinking with this area. I'm thinking of sight lines. I'm thinking of what it looks like from certain angles. And, you know, you come out the main building of the campus, and there you go. City Hall facing you right down there. And I think that's cool. I like that a lot. I really do. From this side, I don't know if I'm too worried about sight lines. I might do some trees down here. That might not be a terrible idea. So maybe something a bit like this along here. Although that's going to need to just line up with that tree, I think. So something maybe a bit more like that could work. Maybe a little bit further away so those trees are a bit more evenly spaced. So like that. That kind of looks okay. I think I'm going to avoid doing that though, just because I don't want to block all these windows. So I guess at this point, a little bit more detailing. We do need to do some bollards, and then I think we're pretty much good. Obviously, we have trees and stuff to do, but I mean specifically on this building. And that, I think, is going to be that for today. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. It's been my absolute pleasure, as always. I'm going to try and get a little bit more work done on these areas surrounding City Hall between this episode and the next one, but I think the bulk of it's looking pretty good. We've got bollards along these roads here. We've got some bollards in and around here as well. We've got some bollards sort of circling around here too. And I just think it works. I just think it goes a long way to make this feel a little bit more detailed. Obviously, people are kind of walking in the bushes, and a lot of our benches are in the bushes, but I'm not too worried about that. I also threw in a little teensy bit of asymmetry with this giant tree here and the slightly smaller one over there. I like to imagine that maybe, you know, that tree has been there for hundreds of years. It was like, should we tear it down? No, you know what? Let's not do that. Anyway, like I said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. It's been my absolute pleasure, as always, and it might be a little rich of me to say, and as always, I'll see you next time, given the time between this episode and the last one. But next episode will be out in a couple of days. You've got my word on that. So if you are new around here, maybe consider subscribing. Leave a like in the video if you enjoyed it. But as always, it's been my absolute pleasure, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.